Hello, everyone. My guest today is George Kirkland. He's a chief revenue officer and co-founder of RaiseMe, where he oversees partnerships and business operations. Prior to that, he spent 5 years working in investment banking at Morgan Stanley. He's a University of Pennsylvania Graduate School of Education fellow and was a Medland Scholar at UNC Chapel Hill, where he double majored in business and public policy, now helping to connect prospective students and colleges. George, you ready to take us to the top?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So is this exactly what it sounds like? Marketplace play, take a spread in the middle, make the connection happen?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so walk us through. I mean, how'd you get the idea? Why is this important to you?
So we're a social enterprise. This all came from the idea of trying to help more students get to college. We found out that a lot of students struggle to go to college because they don't think they can pay for it. And so what we saw is that there's $100 billion in scholarships given out, but there's not a great place to connect students with those scholarships. And so effectively what we did is said, let's take the scholarships that are given out, but let's allow students to earn them in small incremental bits throughout the course of high school based on their individual achievements. And we thought if we could do that, we could actually help motivate students to stay engaged, but also provide a way for colleges to recruit these students.
How do you get control of the sponsorship dollars?
When a college comes on, they are putting up their scholarships to be on the platform.
Interesting. Okay, I'm Virginia Tech. Actually, name an institution that you have on the platform already.
Well, Virginia Tech is a partner of ours.
Oh, perfect. Okay, great. So I went to Virginia Tech. So let's say Virginia Tech's on the platform. I'm going to school in Northern Virginia, Loudoun County. No, I want to go to Virginia Tech. Where do I go as a freshman in high school to know that like this kind of gamification for me to earn these, sponsor dollars are available? How do I know about it?
So we have about 2 million students on the platform. We mainly get to them through the high schools. So we actually have a high school administrative portal that high school counselors can use. They introduce the tool to their students. And then students, of course, share it. We do some Facebook ads, that kind of thing. But something really they're going to hear about from their friends, their parent, or their high school counselor.
And give me a general sense of, well, actually, let me put this on a timeline first. What year did you launch the company?
We incorporated in June 2012. We launched publicly in summer of 2014.
Okay, so what were you doing for 2 years? Drinking and playing beer pong, or what?
We were building the marketplace. It's hard to get both sides of the market set up where you have the students and the colleges that are mutually interested in each other, and we were building the product and raising money and doing it in a very lean way.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about that real quick. So you had to raise. I mean, you raised capital. It sounds like early on. How much have you raised to date?
About 32 million.
And why? I mean, so why couldn't you bootstrap this thing? I mean, is this truly a hard tech play where engineering expenses are through the roof?
I actually think that marketplaces are going to be harder to bootstrap than anything because they're very capital intensive upfront because you've got to again build both sides of the marketplace. So colleges pay us, but students don't. It's completely free for them, and so I actually think that it takes more to invest. But as you build a marketplace, you gain pricing power and LTVs go up across the board, both for colleges and for the student users. And so it does take a lot of investment up front.
Yeah. The crappy thing about this is your max LTV on a student is basically 4 years, right? I mean, you have to basically always be getting this cycle on that side of the marketplace restarted with those counselors at the high school's freshman year.
You do have to reload the students, which is part of the reason we build relationships directly with high schools. So those high school counselors are automatically introducing it to new students when they get into school. We don't have to really go out and pay to acquire them through Facebook or Instagram ads every year. But we're also building products that will track the student after high school into college and on to jobs and careers. And so we really do want to continue to maintain that relationship and monetize that relationship.
Let's flip and talk about the other side. So colleges, right? How do you structure the pricing for colleges?
So our pricing, colleges pay us anywhere between $15,000 and we have people that pay us over $100,000. It's going to be based
a year.
A year. It's going to be based on the size of the university, and we call it Carnegie classification. So are you a small college or a national research university like like Virginia Tech. And then the price can go up based on kind of your usage, the amount of engagement you get with
engagement measured by what? Number of student logins, number of dollars placed, what?
Actually, number of applications submitted to your institution.
Interesting. Okay, so you're upselling against number of applications submitted. Anything else you're upselling against? Size of freshman class, anything like that?
We will upsell engaging new groups of students. So if you want to engage transfer students or international students with his platform, we can upsell that as well.
Okay, so that's almost like a feature-based upsell. Any like seat-based upselling? If college admins, they want to put 10 people on it instead of 100?
Not really. At this point, we're trying to incentivize them to use it as much as possible and get feedback from them and that kind of thing. So we kind of want to give out as many seats as we can.
Yeah, no, that makes good sense. And so since 2014, how many colleges have you gotten to sign up?
We have about 300 colleges.
Okay, and I don't know the data here. What's the total college market in the U.S.? How many total colleges?
There's about 5,000, but if you look at nonprofit, you're probably talking only about 3,000. And if you look at four-year institutions that really we would want to partner with, maybe 1,500 to 2,000.
Okay, so you've gotten somewhere between kind of 6 and 15% of the market so far. Plenty of room left for growth.
Yep.
Now, is there a direct correlation? I mean, I assume there are bigger schools that have 10 times more scholarship dollars available than other schools, right? So I guess another question here in terms of value metric would be over the past 12 months, how many scholarship dollars have gone through your platform?
We've distributed about $6 billion in scholarships over the last year.
Okay, trailing 12 months. And what is the total, if you look both on and off your platform, total scholarships from schools to students, what's that total market? Do you know?
It's $100 billion a year.
So is it really that big?
Yeah.
$100 billion. That's amazing. I had no idea it was that big.
I mean, these are effectively discounts on tuition. So they're kind of less so actual scholarships given to students and more, discounts off the sticker price of tuition.
Yeah. I mean, so let me ask you, why did you decide not to price against that? I mean, that seems like a very interesting kind of value-based metric that directly correlates to, again, that's the value the colleges get.
There are a lot of colleges that don't give out a lot of scholarships that get a tremendous amount of benefit from our platform. We also it made more sense to tie it to engagement on applications because the ROI nets out for them. So at the end of the year, if we're pricing based on applications, their results in terms of enrollments that they get backs out, and it leads to a very, very strong ROI. Versus if we did it based on the amount of scholarships they give, that might not necessarily align with the results that they get on the platform.
Interesting. Okay, churn's critical in a SaaS company. What's your churn look like over the past 12 months in terms of colleges that have maybe left or downgraded?
So ARR churn, we probably lost, or we retained 93%, so lost 7%. Logo churn maybe
That's
a little
annually,
bit higher.
Right?
Yeah. Maybe 10% on logo churn, but that's because we're losing the smaller customers that started working with us a long time ago and pay us $5,000.
That's why revenue churn is smaller at 7%.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, does your expansion on that same cohort that was paying a year ago more than make up for the 7% hole?
Yeah, we're about 120 net.
Oh, good.
120% net.
That's great. That means you have 27% expansion on the cohorts. That puts you at 120 net.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great. What does that motion look like? So, like, what's your team today? And do you have an inside sales team kind of, trying to drive activations in colleges to drive expansion revenue?
We have an inside sales team. I would say that the expansion happens in two ways. One is, growth of the existing contract from getting more applications, and that kind of happens naturally more with our partner success team, who's working with the client and the results that they're getting, and so that's more of a natural expansion through the partner success team. The sales team will do upsells of transfers or international or that kind of thing. So the sales team is really doing new logos plus upsells, not necessarily kind of the performance-based growth of the existing contract.
I see. Okay, and what's the total team size today?
65.
65 folks. And where's everyone based?
We are based in San Francisco.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, then I have to ask this. So you raise a bunch of money, 65 people. I want to get a sense of your risk profile. And the best, in thousands of these interviews, I found the best way to understand a founder's risk profile is to understand how much burn they can sleep with at night. So when you look at your burn, you raised a bunch of capital. Are you still burning to drive growth, or are you back at break even?
Oh, our burn is extremely high.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's, 600, 700,000 a month.
Mostly engineering.
Yeah, it's engineering. We have a new office actually that I didn't want to move into because we had this amazing office on Cap Street. Now we're down in Soma.
Cap Street's great. So why would you give that up?
I don't know. Only the most dangerous street in the city.
I know. It makes you feel like you're living.
Yeah. So those are some of the main costs. It's mostly personnel and office.
Yeah. And then in terms of growth, can I take the 300 colleges you've got at that minimum ARPU you gave me earlier, $1,200 a month? That would put you north of 360 grand a month right now in revenue. Is that accurate?
Oh, it's going to be more than that.
Okay.
For sure. Our average contract is probably 20,000
a year.
Right now. Yeah.
Okay. So more like 1,800 a month, not 1,200. That would jack up MRR to something more like, what is that? 540, I think. I'm doing the math on my head. 540 a month.
Something around there.
Yeah. So you guys have broken a 6 million run rate at this point.
Yeah.
What's the next big stretch goal?
We want to double every year. That's got to be the goal. And so we're launching some new products. I just launched a product that has a cost of 125,000 base and can go up to 400,000. So it's just a much more technologically integrated product that works with students further into the life cycle. And so we're excited about that. But really just deepening the relationships with colleges and driving bigger overall contracts.
Going forward, you obviously want to double. Historically, did you double?
We did. I would say we had a fumble last year from a new sales standpoint. We went through a transition in our VP of sales, lost some people, rebuilt the team completely. Really excited about where it is right now. But our goal this year on new sales is probably, 5x what we did last year.
Yeah. So if you're doing 540 today, fair to say you're doing like 270 a month about a year ago, or 300 a month a year ago? Yeah,
I don't really look at it on a monthly basis because we do annual renewals, but it's probably somewhere around there.
Yeah. That would put you at doubling year over year. It's 270 last year. And just to be clear too, I want to make sure I understood this correctly. You think most of your growth is going to come from expansion revenue, bigger wallet sizes versus going out and getting more colleges?
I would say that one of the big learnings for us over the years has been what a good client is and what a bad client is. And, the big enterprise clients, the folks like Northeastern, or the Virginia Techs who can work with us on multiple products and who have great teams that are great to work with and are, easy on implementation. Those are much more profitable, relationships for us. So we're having to balance that. We bring on a lot of unprofitable college partners because we want to create a community and we want to have an option for all students. But I would say that from a cost and managing cost perspective, having fewer clients that are working with us in a deeper way is more valuable. But that's not to say we're not going to try to add 100 to 150 colleges every year.
Yeah, of course. Last question before we wrap up. How aggressive are you being on fully weighted CAC? So what do you spend to get a new $20,000 a year customer, would you say?
We probably spend about $10,000 right now, and that's gone up because we're doing some more travel now. The team's really been successful with their recent traveling for sales deals. And so what's that? Like
it's a six month payback.
Is 6 months. Yeah.
It's great. No, it's great. So you're going to, those are healthy economics. Are you about to raise more capital to plow more money into those economics?
I think the challenge is that, like I said before, there's only about 3,000 colleges. And you can only really sell them that quickly. And so we have to either launch more products, so where we can be selling multiple things into that same group and different stakeholders, But, you can only go back to, the 2,000 colleges you don't have so many times in a year. So I'm never going to have a 20-person sales team. It's probably going to be 5 to 8 people, at any point.
So no plans to raise capital right now.
No.
All right, let's wrap up with the famous 5. Number 1, what's your favorite business book?
I like The Happiness Advantage. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's just kind of about positive psychology to drive work performance.
Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
Not in particular. I think a lot of people do, certain things well. And so I like to look for those kind of certain things, but not track anyone specifically.
Number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building your company?
Love Google Apps and just being able to collaborate on docs, and been using Gong a lot lately myself, actually, gong.io.
Yep. No, they were on the show recently. It sounds like they're growing pretty fast. Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
About 6.
And situation, married, single, kids?
I'm married. I have 2 kids. I actually had my second kid 7 days ago.
Oh, well, congratulations. Man, I'm glad we were able to steal you for 20 minutes. This is great.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it looks like you might be in a room right now where there's a baby sleeping in the back corner or something.
Yeah, there is. Right over there.
All right. And how old are you?
I'm 34.
Last question. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
I would say when you're young, take advantage of all the energy that you have, and being able to work all-nighters and not have kids and all that stuff. And know that when you get older, and have kids, you're actually gonna start to pick spending time with your kids over work.
There you go. Surprise, surprise. Guys, Raise.me, they're doing about $6 million, north of $6 million bucks in ARR right now, growing more than 100% year over year, helping college students get aligned with college scholarships as early as their freshman year in high school. Over $6 billion in scholarships processed through their platform across 300 colleges over the past 12 months. They launched in 2014. Now they have about 65 folks, $32 million raised, burning about $700,000 per month to drive growth of the business, 7% annual churn, but 27% expansion. So healthy net retention at 120% with a 6-month payback period to land these new accounts that are about $20,000 ACVs right now. George, thanks for taking us to the top.
All right. Thanks.